Happy Friday, guys. I hope you guys have a good weekend planned, and it's just kind of fun to send off the weekend with a little bit more inspiration, and something that I think is kind of fun for weekend plans. My inspiration today is the super cute Notes and Totes bundle. Whoops. Oh, here we go. Notes and Totes. So you've been seeing, I'm sure, if you're like me and love to craft, Facebook feeds, Pinterest feeds, lots of ideas with the cute little notes and totes. And so I'm going to make one of these cards, kind of walk you through how the other one's done. And just because a lot of the things kind of are marked down too with the paper on the other ones, I want to show you that. And people have been loving this. At first, I was a little nervous, like, is the Notes and Totes going to be a little putsy? Hello there, Pam. Pam is a big fan. She just joined in of the Notes and Totes bundle, and she's been making them 3D, like, so that's kind of fun that you're on here, and I can toot your horn about what you've been doing with the bundle. And because it's summertime, it's a great time to be using these types of products too. So that's why I'm like, oh, you know, I want to make sure that I showcase so that you have a lot of ideas. I do see that it's not able to be ordered, but should be coming in next week. So I haven't checked today. Sometimes when it says like the week of July 18th, that means, or 19th or whatever, sometimes that means it comes in a little early. And so I'm kind of on the lookout of that. So I thought, oh, a lot of times I don't like to do a video of something that you can't purchase the day that I'm videoing it. But since it's right around the corner, and I know a lot of you have wish lists. So let me get my camera turned around so you can see the card better, and then I can start crafting the project too. All right, so I've got this in my tripod here. All right, so these are the, this is the card that I'm going to be making today. Looks very nice and beachy. And then this is one, another like totally different style, and actually like this card goes up and down. This one is the landscape. So a couple different styles, and I kind of like to show you that because you can tell it's quite large, but it does fit across a card with this orientation. And with this one, it just, like a lot of people think, oh, it can only be done this way, but nope, it can be done either way. So from the annual catalog, Notes and Totes is on page 81. And a little while ago, I kind of went through my catalog one, actually last month. That seems like a long time ago, but we had the sale for anything that was like a part of a suite was on sale. So I looked through and I went, oh, this is a bundle only, and I just felt like there's so many great suites in the catalog that I had to narrow down and go, what isn't a suite? And this was one of them. And I'll show you the dies to make the cool fence here too. So if you want a fence, I even thought this fence would look so cute, like with a barnyard theme for the new piggy bundle that I've been doing so much with recently. And so yeah, but as you can see, the stamp set and the dies work together, but it's not like these things get cut out. How do I want to say? Like, these are just images that you can stamp on top of these things, but they kind of can be separate, if that makes sense. Like, you could just have this as a super nice stamp set, and you could do so much with just these dies, and they don't have to go together, but I do like using them together. But yeah, like some handles, some purse scarves, some lotion, drink, beach, starfish, shells, sunglasses, all that kind of stuff. And this, I love that, and I'll show you when I use it, that these three pieces get cut out at the same time, so that it saves on trips through the die cutting machine. So yeah, here is the stamp set. So nice size images, sending warm wishes. You guys know I'm a fan of this type of loose cursive font. I don't know if there's an actual name for that, but I always tend to call it the loose cursive font. Hi there, Diane. Thanks for joining in. And yes, with summer, I love like the little water drips, the sun, and the definitely tropical flower there image. All right, now for the dies, there are 17 dies, so lots of dies. You can tell the packaging itself is very large. And this is where I said we've got the nice fencing here. And then this, some people have asked, I think this is to look like a newspaper with a fold and such, and especially because like newsflash, you're fabulous, exclusive, made just for you. So because of the indentation there, that's what I'm thinking, and I'd heard that from somebody else. Love the tag. This can be like its own little clutch like bag. And here we have the sunglasses. If you want to put that underneath the sunglasses, or inside I should say, you can have open frames or put that to fill in. And then we've got the different types of bottles here, a seashell, and then another handle for the bag. Those are the ones I'm not using, so that says a lot. That's a lot right there. So I am using this for the handbag handle. Some people have used it for a headset, and so that's kind of a fun thing. And Pam's tuning in. Hi, Belle. Fun making the totes. I've done like 35 of them filled with chocolate, and the card's fun too. And so she's done about 15 of those, and yes, she loves it. So that's a good testimony of how much she loves it. Yeah, and I loved how she said like she just takes out her designer series paper patterns and makes all the fun little totes to stand up. Okay, so yeah, handle, or it could be headphones, and then a fun little purse scarf. I'm using that, and then this. Oh, there's like a piece stuck in there. And then this is what cuts out here, and these little straps there too. So we get the 2 straps and across the bottom there, and one pass through like I said. And here we have a nice beverage cup, and then I'm using the starfish today and the little triangle too. And then this is the actual bag here, the tote bag. So I have the pieces pre-cut for you guys because it is a lot of cutting. I tell you though, like a lot of times I mention that I'm not a great putsy cutter. So if there's a project that needs a lot of cutting, it has to be like really up my alley. And I debated about this, but then I kept seeing this whole bundle was like putting me over the edge. Do I want it? Don't I? And then I kept seeing all the fun samples. And if you know me, I love the hot sunshine, the beach, that kind of thing. And so I thought, Val, how do you not get this? All right. So how I'm going to start my card is cloud cover. That's that new in color. Love it. Like a light gray with, or I mean a light blue with, you know, a touch of gray in there. So I'm opening it this way today. And then the first step that I'm going to do is take a piece of crumb cake, and this is cut, let me just double check, 3 inches by 5.5. So this is going to go all the way across the front of my card. And so to kind of make that be this beach scene here, and to get the sand going on there, what I'm going to do is open up my pecan pie. I love this color, you guys. It's such a great brown. And to put just like a little bit more emphasis on crumb cake versus crumb cake on crumb cake, I just love that we can have just a little bit darker, but in that kind of same tone of family. So I'm just inking it up and then stamping it a few times to get some lighter and darker images to kind of give that. So this is part of the, let's see, this is part of that same set. And I like to let people know about that, because a lot of times these little dots and sprinkles are part of like a background set or something, but I love that that is part of the notes and totes. And Pam already says that she's going to be gearing up and doing this for Christmas, which is great. So like, how fun would it be to give your gift cards for Christmas? Just change this out to make it maybe look more Christmassy and give that away. I love that idea. So now it makes me think like I need to get some ideas going for more projects for Christmas for you guys, because it has been a fan favorite. The last stamp camp I did, they said, oh, this might be my favorite card. And I love hearing that. I said, it kind of reminds me of playing with Barbies and all the little accessories. I loved playing with Barbies. Okay, so I'm going to take this and just tear off the tiniest little part here of the top. And often, this isn't a hard thing, but often what I get asked is, how do you get it to show kind of that rough torn edge? Do you tear it away or towards you? Tear it towards you if you like to see that torn edge. If you don't, then the back side is just the rough edge without seeing kind of that inner core. So some people like that, some people don't. Okay, so the next thing I have here is the from the 6x6 Designer Series paper. And so if you see this, these are the new patterns for the 2025 through 2027 in color 6x6. So you'll get a few different patterns, but you'll get all 5 of those shades. But these patterns come in all of the colors. So you could buy a package of the subtles, a package of the neutrals, a package of the brights, a package of the regals, or either one of the in colors too. So you have like some fun design on one side. And I'm choosing this, which kind of has the splatter speckle going there. So this too, I'm going to tear towards me. I was just going to put this across the top of my card to go all the way up to the top to have like a kind of the scenery to continue with the beach. Then we have the sky, but I kind of liked keeping a little bit of an edge of the top of the card showing too. Hi there, Joyce. So what I ended up doing is taking this and just running some adhesive across here like so, and then putting that across with some of, like I said, the top of the card showing. So we've got that torn edge there. And then, so yeah, that can be your sea or your sky, however you want to look at it. But I just kind of liked the layout, the look. And now we've definitely got like the sand here. But I wanted to have a thicker piece of the sand so that the tote doesn't look like it's floating in the water. Okay, so that's gonna go. So now we've got a couple layers of that ripped look image there. Okay, so now what I did, kind of walking you through, this is from that Textures and Totes, textured paper that we had. So think this with the textured notes, and it's a bundle of stamps and such, but it has that Designer Series paper that coordinates. And so that makes such great tote bags. And some people made it like this, which is my sample, and some people folded it over and did the other side. In fact, maybe I'll do the other side just so you can see the difference. Why not, right? So when you die cut this out, it takes about a 4.5 inch strip of Designer Series paper to fit that. And I say about because I'm not fussy if the very edges of this tote get put on, because they're going to get folded back behind anyway. And then with that, this also does the scoring, so you get nice fold lines in there besides cutting it out too. And this one is hard to tell. You can see it better on this one. You can see that like the stitching in there. I feel like this is great because it's not as busy as this one. This one's so busy you don't really see the stitching in there, but I kind of love that burlap look to it. Now on the bottom, what I told people is just fold this in. These are the flaps if you want to have the 3D thing too. And Margaret said it's so hot in North Carolina. I don't know if you see me. Do you see me? I'm wearing long sleeves today. This morning it was kind of cool, and it did kind of warm up, and now it looks like it's going to storm to the point where I hate that when it's cool, warms up fast. It looks like it's going to rain, which usually does mean some kind of storm. And because we farm, you never know what's going to happen to crops. That always weighs heavy on my heart when I see stuff like that move through kind of fast. Okay, so with 4 dimensionals here, I'm just kind of tacking down all those pieces that I folded for this project. So I like to let you know my rhyme and reason why. Soon I will be stamping like the, I was going to say magazine, newspaper, to make it look like it's sticking out of the tote. And so I want that so that this is still open and gives a little gap in between the card and such too. So I'm going to put that at an angle here, like so, and then we can start building all those pieces. So like I said, this piece here with one pass through, I'm going to cut these out ahead of time. And you're like, thanks. Otherwise, I'd have to do the Jeopardy music as I do all my cutting. So I've got this, which the pecan pie is the cardstock I used, and it kind of makes it look like faux leather. And look at the detail of the stitching of that. I'll try and keep it more still so you can see that. And then we've got the handle here, and I've got one of those triangles, and even the triangle stitched. It looks like a piece of leather. It's just so fun to have those extra details on there. All right, so I'm just going to take my adhesive here and get that ready to go. Actually, I'm going to switch over to green glue and just put little tiny bits of the green glue. I feel like the more I'm not usually a green glue girl, but I'm feeling for the scoring line there. But I tell you what, I've getting used to it. Like, I'm finding I can put just like the bare minimum on there the more I work with it. It used to be like all or nothing. It would come out pretty heavy, and then we don't like that because that leaves a mess, right? Okay, I'm feeling for the score line there to put that on, and now this is ready to go across the bottom. So that just kind of ties all that in. So put your straps on first, and then this is going to go across the bottom. So we've got that. Look at how much just that little addition just makes the purse come together. And then next, I'm just going to take my mini glue dots here and press on each side this and this here. And I tell you what, this is kind of funny. You know how you get dies? I hope I'm not the only one when I say that. Okay, I'm going to put this down. So on the dies that, and I love that there's two that give you the little triangles here. Do you see these little images that almost look like fish? Right here. To me, I'm like, oh, it's a Christian symbol right there, the little fish. Or is it supposed to be little snacks for going to the beach? And like when they come out of those dies, this is how big those things are. They're tiny, but I'm going to show you what you can do. I felt like, oh, it just seemed like a lot more work, but I'm going to show you this because I'm going to cut this mini glue dot in half, and you can take these little things here and add them to the little handle for like the reinforcement. And so I'm doing color on color, but you can see here that it just looks like more extra of the little like leather, when you have the leather on your handbag, and then it folds over kind of like so. So then we've got that going. How fun is that? So it just adds that extra depth to that too. All right, since I've got my mini glue dots out, I'm just gonna put one on my triangle there that's stitched and place that in the middle. All right, so we've got that going together there. Love that. And then the one thing that the people said, oh, that just like tops off the whole card. Maybe I should have waited as the last thing. But from that same designer series paper here, like you can see the side of the cloud cover has the pretty flowers there, and then kind of that nice background. Hi there, Lisa and Nancy. Well, there is also more patterns, and so I picked one that had a little bit more of the white floral images on there and cut these scarves out with that. And I'm just taking one glue dot, and I'm going to put this scarf on there, purse scarf, like so. Doesn't that just add a lot? Kind of want to make sure that it stays within the edges. And actually I like to tilt it down. I kind of didn't want to cover up the fish, or I call it the fish now, that little embellishment there, but kind of a scarf, I should kind of go down a little bit because naturally that's what it wants to do. And then the other thing that I cut out, the other two things that I cut out from the dies are this little beverage cup here. Whoops. And then just dropped it. The starfish, look at all how that's stitched too, you guys. It just looks so realistic. Like I said, you can tell I had so much fun. And like I said, it was like Barbie accessories. And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like used all my babysitting money. That tells you how long I played with Barbies if I was already babysitting and then using that money for like Barbie accessories, furniture, clothing. Okay, now I'm going to open up my Misty Moonlight ink pad, and that's a good like combo, the cloud cover and Misty Moonlight. I really like that together. So let me grab some scratch paper here, and this is kind of that hibiscus looking flower. I don't know if I've got it right, but you can tell me if I'm wrong. I accept that really well. Okay, so how fun then to decorate that like so. You could do all sorts of stuff, or even that little water image too, the water drops, that would be fun to put on there. And then I'm just going to take one dimensional here and bring that over to this and set that so it looks like it's sitting on the beach next to the tote. And we're almost done, but then I cut out these little papers here, and this is cut 2 inches by 2.75, so 2 by 2.75, and then across the top from that same stamp set, Notes and Totes, it says, "Newsflash, you're fabulous." How fun is that? So that too, Misty Moonlight again. And what I'm going to do is just tuck this in that tote, because remember I said that I wanted to leave kind of that gap. So I only put my dimensionals to kind of close up the tote over on the side here in the bottom. And then that leaves plenty of room to tuck this in. And I wanted to make sure I had enough height to get up and over that so you could still read that. And how I'm going to secure that in there, the only thing I'm putting on there is one more dimensional. And that's just so it kind of pops up. So I'm going to put that at the top here. And I don't put any other adhesive towards the bottom, because all we need is that one thing to hold it in place there, and it's not going to go anywhere because our dimensionals are super sticky that way. All right, so I feel like that finishes all the accessorizing, but of course we need embellishments. Don't let me forget to walk through the other card that I made with this. So for the embellishments, oh, you guys, I love these muted palette dots. These are part of the accessories that go with that new Boho Vibes suite. And these I've been using a ton because these are kind of my colors. Maybe that's why I like that suite so much. And these are great. Where did my take your pick tool go? Oh, here. I actually cleaned up my desk last night. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay, so I'm just going to take one of the large cloud covers here and put that on there, and then just put a couple of the small, whoops, didn't follow through, up into the sky, just to kind of add a little bit of the bubbles and the round there. So we've got that going, just kind of subtle little embellishments there. And then for the inside, what I'm going to do is just take a normal size that I usually use, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And from the Notes and Totes stamp set, love this big sentiment here. Sending warm wishes, because doesn't that look like a warm wish card, like from the beach? And then I'm going to restamp that flower and just put that down in the corner. But isn't it fun how the Misty Moonlight ink just really pairs up well with the cloud cover? Love that. But I've told you time and time again too, I'm kind of a blue girl, so it's usually any kind of blue, I just feel like, yeah, that goes. Okay, so let me put this in the inside. A lot of people, when they see, you know, this type of thing, they're like, oh, that looks like a lot of putsy work. But I always say, if it's worth it in the end, just to have all that come together and look super cute and so realistic, I think that is just like so incredible. Love that. So let me just walk you through another one. It's going to be a bonus day for you guys. I'm not going to make this one, but this one opens up this way, sending warm wishes. What I want to point out, because sometimes when we've had different papers and such, people don't always like ooh and ah over it right away until it's almost too late. Well, this is on the last chance list, and it's marked down to like $7, I think, to market 12 by 12 paper. So the polka dot is from this. these flowers are from this paper. And then what I did is actually, for the class, cut out, so cut around here, which was easy to fussy cut. And that way everybody had bunches of flowers to tuck into their tote. This purse scarf is also from this right here. It's so big to get into the camera. That's where I got my purse scarves from. And so, and even this, like this tote here, comes from one of the pieces. Here we go, from here too. So if you like fruits and vegetables, you could actually die cut or fussy cut these to go into your basket too. So it kind of came with its own little purses and bags, and I've done fun stuff with it. But then to see how that can coordinate with this at just a fraction of the cost because it's on sale. So I did a lot of fun things with that paper, making cards like this too. So you can see very different, even the orientation's very different, but just kind of fun to have the beachy scene, kind of the more classy girl with flowers in the tote type scene too. So notes and totes, like I said, if you are thinking, oh, I have to quick go grab that from online or whatever, it's in the catalog, not online only. But if you go there and online, it says currently unavailable. Like I said, it should be back in stock next week. So, whoops, I'm gonna get my camera turned around. So hopefully they're on task with that. Like I said, you could even check today, sometimes in the afternoon. Things come in a little bit earlier, so it might be a fun surprise. So thank you for so many joining in today to watch me craft, and probably won't be back. I don't even know if I'll be back online to give you any videos at all next week. It all depends because I have 2 in-person events. So I just need to finish up a lot of die cutting for that and moving my son off to college and just a lot going on. So that's why I was trying to jam so much into this week, because I already knew what my schedule looked like for next week. But when I can, I will show you what I've been up to, because I'm always crafting in the background. I have to show you what I'm up to. So have a great, great weekend. Keep enjoying your summer. Bye-bye.